It is Monday, December the 29th, the final show of 2025 for 609 Sports Talk Radio. It is time for another episode of Unbiased. We got a lot to talk about. Let's just get into it. Welcome back, everyone, into another episode of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio. We are coming to you guys live from Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, you know these are the shows that unite fans, ignite debate. Sometimes a fan is ignited. Usually it's me. And bringing you guys all the real and unbiased sports talk that you guys need about anything around the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, even some wrestling, whatever you need, we provide for you. You know the deal. As always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams. Tyler, how we doing tonight?
Oh, just celebrating a very windy Victory Monday here in the good old
That is an
state of
understatement.
New Jersey.
So, all right, so here's how we got this lined up tonight. College football round 2 preview later on in the show. You know, I know Friday Night Gridiron picks, we usually give you the predictions, but since the games are Wednesday and Thursday this week, we'll get into them tonight for you, give our picks for how we feel about round 2, because now this is where the big time steps in. I don't care about that first round crap no more. It's now 2 good games and a team. It's basically 4 bye weeks in the playoff, but we'll get to that later. So we'll get to that later in the show. Got a little NFL segment later on that I want to talk about the strength of schedule talk. I think we got to get into this a little bit. Now that we're seeing how the NFC is turning out this year, I think we got to start talking about stuff like this. But to kick the show off, we're going to dive right into Week 17. It was a crazy week. 3 games on Christmas. Broncos are officially the AFC West champions. The Patriots have won the AFC East. The Texans are going back to the playoffs, and they are playing unbelievable football right now. Sunday night was an absolute burner. We had offensive plays on top of offensive plays. We're going to get onto that game. But Tyler, as always, we are going to start off this show in Buffalo.
Ooh.
The Philadelphia Eagles. They went into Buffalo, where the Bills are, listen to this statistic, 26-2 in their last 28 home games.
Wow.
And they went into the freezing rain, to the crappy conditions. They went in there and they shut down Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, winning it 13-12. Now, on the other side of the football, Eagles offense looked pretty solid in the first half, moved the ball well up and down the field. Honestly, had some really good sustainable drives that, of course, yes, did they end up in touchdowns? No. One of them should have if the officials didn't swallow their whistles, but we'll talk about that later. We'll get into that. Second half, we know how that went. Total crap show. I understand the frustrations. I got issues, though, with what we're doing with this again. I got major issues with what we're doing again with this crap, because this is the problem I've been having all year with you guys. Not you, third person, with everybody. You don't keep the same energy. This is my problem. We got to keep the energy the same on both sides and on different circumstances. We'll get into that. But Tyler, I'm going to let you go first. How do you feel today?
How do I feel? Of course, excited to go into Buffalo, get that close victory. It's never easy. Never easy. Defense, if the Texans' defense wasn't so damn good, I would just say, unarguably, the Eagles have the best defense in the league. But there's an argument between both. There's an argument to be had. But man, this defense, time and time again, bend but don't break. They weather the storm. They make the plays that they need to. And they just lock you down. Throughout that first half, we saw the deep bomb to none other than Brandon Cooks.
Old reliable.
Old reliable. Had like a career game out of nowhere. And then after that, there really wasn't much going for the Buffalo Bills offense. They were really struggling. They were shutting down Allen. They were keeping him contained pretty well. Cook wasn't finding any yards on the ground. And that's another big thing, is they did a really good job at slowing down James Cook, who is the current leading rusher in the NFL. And they slowed him down to a halt. I think, let's see, how did, what's his name do behind him? And the other running backs didn't do anything. But they held him to 74 yards off of 20 carries. No touchdowns. The longest run of the day was 10 yards. And Josh Allen, he only got a measly 27 yards scrambling. And he was running for his life.
That one play where Moro Ajomo sacked him and took him down by his leg, he came up wincing after that. He didn't really move well after that.
Yeah, he didn't. So they ended up with 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. Had that huge fumble recovery. And again, defense, great game, no complaints. Beautifully coached game by Vic Fangio and his unit. Now, I'm not going to sit here and thrash the Eagles' offense. That's not why I started with the defense. The Eagles' offense, in the first half of the game, again, they did enough. I think there was a lot of big problems going into the second half of that game. Oh, I think you're frozen over there, Sam. We'll continue on in case if I'm still going. But there were a lot of issues with the offense in the second half of the game. Definitely, it wasn't pretty. They stalled out. 0 points again. I think the second half stat was like 17 total yards. It's ridiculous to think how they won the game under those circumstances. Give me 1 second here. See if we can get Sam back. Technical difficulties, everybody. All right, while Sam tries to get back in here, I'll continue my thoughts from the game. Saquon, early on, the run game seemed like it was clicking. I mean, they were moving up and down the field, getting good production, good blocks up front. But second half of the game, it just completely stalled out. There was nothing. Couldn't run. The blocks weren't there. Offensive line, again, showing how poorly they've played all year. It's surprising that Cam Jurgens even made the Pro Bowl this year. And from a first half stat line of Jalen Hurts, he was like, I think 13 for 18, 110 yards, something like that. Maybe 107. And the touchdown, that was a great first half stat line. If only this Eagles offense could play 2 good halves of football. The defense plays all 4 quarters. Defense is a big reason they won that game. There's no doubt about it. But offensively, I'm still worried. I'm concerned because I do believe this defense is good enough to stop some of these teams, these good teams that are going to make it into the playoffs. The Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. But when it comes down to it, if you're relying on the defense to make one more play, and they can't, and if you need your offense to make one more play, I'm worried about if they'll be able to make that last play. I really don't know how it'll work out. So there's definitely a lot of question marks heading into this postseason here with the playoffs looming around the corner. Welcome.
Okay, that was annoying. But I'm back. Power went out for a second, but we're good. We're all back.
Nice. We have 2 Tylers on the screen.
Oh, good. I forget how to freaking update that. Hold on.
I can update it real quick.
Okay.
But I gave a lot of thoughts on the game so far. What do you think?
Well, first off, there's no chat messages, right?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure that I'm up to date because I had to. That was really annoying. But so what have you dived into so far? My apologies, everybody.
Well, you were here a little bit. It started with the defense. They're never the issue. There's not a complaint there. My concern jumps into the offense with Jalen Hurts. Seemingly, his first half stat line, he was on track to have a great game. But the problem with this offense is they can't play 2 consistent halves of football. It's either one really good one and one poor one, or one really good one and maybe a decent quarter. And it worries me, their inability to be consistent throughout all 4 quarters coming into the playoffs against some of these other teams. I believe our defense is good enough to stop most of these high-powered offenses. But when it comes down to it, last play, if the Eagles are needed to make that play, I don't know if the offense is going to be able to do it. And I'm not questioning Jalen Hurts. I've seen him in big-time moments. He can perform. But I worry about the play call and the methodology behind it. Because I still can't wrap my head around how, yes, I get it. Offensive line, another poor game in the second half. They've been poor all year. I get that makes it tough. The weather intensifying second half of the game, that made it tough as well. That eliminates a lot of plays you can make. But you mean to tell me that taking all those things into consideration, you can't find a way to generate some plays to some of your key playmakers to try and spark something? And for that, I look at Kevin Patullo.
Do you actually want me to answer that?
Yeah. Go ahead and answer that for me.
The answer is no, they can't. Because that's how bad that offensive line is. They are not good whatsoever. They have not been good at all whatsoever. They are literally, go look at the first half. They were fine. They were winning their blocks. But even if you look at the first half, look at the play that Jalen Hurts ran and got blasted out of bounds, which God forbid we call that in this league. But there were 3 guys the minute the ball was snapped to him in the backfield. Saquon Barkley doesn't even have the football when he is being tackled yet. They are, in the whole second half, they are literally facing 3rd and long the entire time. And first of all, there was a play they would have converted if the weather wasn't so bad. Because the one deep shot that Hurts took in the second half, Devontae Smith kind of just mistimed his jump a little bit, and the ball went through his hands. Stuff happens like that. It's football.
And then there was that 3rd down where it was the high throw. He got brought down really hard, and he bobbled it on the way down because of the impact of the ground. Understandable things. You know, I do get that there were some plays that were close that would have moved the chains, that would have been very positive yards and helped move the ball down the field. I do get that. But I mean, how do you get so lucky to have, what was it, under 20 yards in the second half of the game?
17.
It was 17. 17 yards of total offense in the second half. 30 minutes of football. And for you to put the faith on your defense, and they stepped up. But I can't always expect them to step up.
Well, you must be in a different realm than I am because they can step up no matter what you need from them. It doesn't matter where, when, who, what, when, how. This defense is going to show up to play. It don't matter who they are, who you're playing, where they're going. They're going to travel and they're going to punch you in the face.
I know that they'll show up to play, but let's look at another scenario. Let's say Bills moved down the field. They went ahead, got the touchdown, and then they went for two. And then they're up by, let's say, 14-13 on us. So then, let's say there's, be generous, minute 30 on the clock. Do you see the Eagles' offense being able to move down the field to win the game? Just to get in the field goal range.
Well, first of all, we're turning into ESPN right now because if that's the case, then that makes the Eagles 0-253 and what if scenarios. That's what we're doing. We're creating what if scenarios right now.
Sam, I don't want it to be a what if scenario. I'm just looking at it when we're playing a good team in the NFC. The Bills are a great team, but there's teams that I'm more scared of in the NFC than the Bills. What if you're that scenario I just told you? What if you're in that scenario against one of those other teams?
The NFL is a week-to-week league. I can't base a scenario that's going to be in 2 weeks compared to this because here's once again my issue. We're not keeping the same energy. The second this happens again, we're right back on the chomping bit with everything. But meanwhile, the last 2 weeks when we played 60 minutes of football and scored 60 points 2 straight games, no one said a damn word about a thing.
Okay.
Got to keep the same energy.
Do we have to get into it was the Raiders and a half of the Commanders team?
Okay. Every single team in the NFC has an issue right now. Ours just happens to be.
I don't mind the score line. I don't mind a 1-point win. That's not my problem. My problem is 17 total yards in 30 minutes of football. When your defense gave you the ball back time and time again, begging for you to run some clock out to end the game.
They can't run the ball because they can't block. What more do you have to see about this? They were facing 3rd and 10 plus every drive in the second half because those nitwits could not block. Like I said, if you want to talk about Kevin Patullo, that's fine. Which, first of all, I like to shout out Anthony's comment here because, you guys want to talk about Kevin Patullo. McDermott. Whoa, buddy. Woof. You talk about bad coaching. That's some bad coaching right there. And that's a seasoned veteran. That's a guy who's been in the league for a few minutes. Because here's the thing. I don't care what the defense was doing the entire game. Our defense was on its last leg in the final seconds. I would easily because here's the thing. Field goals, they're different. How often do you see 2 PATs get blocked in a row in the NFL?
See, here's the thing, though. With that weather and in the back of McDermott's head, he knows that we did it against the Rams. Now, they weren't both PATs, but you get it. 2 block kicks. in the back of his head, he's like, okay, do I trust Josh Allen to just go and make a play from 2 yards out? Or do I risk something happening, any little mistake happening, and then blocking another field goal? Still, statistically, I would have taken the field goal or the PAT. But I do understand the rationale behind it.
But again, you're going up against an Eagles defense that's exhausted, and their offense isn't moving the ball. Why not go into overtime? They're not going to do anything offensively in everyone's eyes. I'll get the ball back. I'll go down the field. I'll try and go for the win there.
Well, which, by the way, I'm Buffalo's afraid of overtime, so
that is true. First of all, I just want
consideration too.
I just want to throw out to the people. I apologize if, again, I cut out for a few minutes because we have a wind advisory in our area till tomorrow afternoon, and my power's already gone out once during the show. So if Tyler has to hold it down for a second by himself, that's why. But either way, well, Mike, they've already beaten the Rams this year, so that doesn't do me anything. That don't do nothing for me. Rams defense has blown how many double-digit leads this year? We don't talk about that every week, though, do we? All I'm saying is, once again, what do you guys want them to do when they are facing 3rd and 10 plus every single freaking third down? They cannot get Saquon Barkley cannot get back to the line of scrimmage half of the time because of these 5. I mean, Tyler Steen's so stupid, he blocked his assignment into Fred Johnson, which knocked Fred back 5 yards. Cam Jurgens is getting head faked at the line of scrimmage. Head faked. That's rookie stuff.
Oh, I said it while you were out for a moment. I don't know how Cam Jurgens was a Pro Bowler.
I said, how bad has the centers been in the NFC this year that he's the only option to go with at a Pro Bowl level? But first of all, here's the thing. I am not here to completely slander Cam Jurgens because we need to remember that during the NFC title game last year, he could barely walk because of his back injury. He had to tough it out because Landon Dickerson got hurt in that game, and then he toughed it out in the Super Bowl. I would think that coming back from back surgery is not a very easy thing to do when you're a 300-pound offensive lineman. Not to mention, they won't tell you a thing. That knee is more torn up than they're telling us. His knee is torn up in some way because he is not moving right. He hurt in the Vikings game. He hasn't been the same since. But him, Tyler Steen, and Landon Dickerson are getting pushed around. So, and here's the thing where you're wrong. We are playing consistently in one area for 60 minutes. The offensive line for 60 minutes is getting blown up every other play. This offensive line has been that bad all season. With or without, this is not, and I don't know how much Lane Johnson can fix this, but having Fred Johnson out there isn't going to help. No offense to Fred. Fine backup, not a starter.
Yeah.
This is the problem that has been the issue all year. Because I want to bring this up. I got to hear every single week. Ken Patullo. All right, well, let's look at something real quick. Let's go through some numbers here. Just going to go through a couple players here. Because I think, let me just clarify. I believe most of the Eagles fans' issues are the passing offense, right?
Oh, no. Our rushing offense sucks. Our passing offense has been better than our rushing offense this year.
Well, somebody else has the tag as run game coordinator, not Ken Patullo. But no, just bring up. But no, because every time we hear someone complaining, it's one guy. Which, by the way, the picture I saw with him and Nick Sirianni walking to the locker room, if that becomes a thing again, I cut him before the playoffs. I'm not playing the game. We're not playing the game. Jalen Hurts has more passing yards than last year. Jalen Hurts has more passing touchdowns than last year. A.J. Brown has 1,003 yards this year, had 1,079, so he's only about 70 yards off of last year. Devontae Smith has more yards than last year. And Dallas Goedert has more yards than last year. So how much, we keep comparing Kellen Moore and Kevin Patullo. Do you know what the big difference was last year that Kellen Moore had that Kevin Patullo doesn't? An offensive line that plays up to the standard that we are expecting them to. And a running back season that we only see once every, it feels like 30 years. Saquon Barkley is never going to have that kind of year again. It is borderline impossible for a running back to have 2,000-yard seasons, especially when you're at that age. I mean, he's going to be 30 soon.
Yeah.
But the point is, all the offensive critiques that they give Kevin Patullo this year are the same things they had last year. Oh, they try to play to not make mistakes. They took the football out of the quarterback's hand last year. They put a straitjacket on him. Now, this year, they've had no choice but to let that go a little bit because the run game has been awful all year. The fact that Saquon Barkley is still top 10 in the league in rushing this year seems like a freaking miracle. But this is the problem I'm having. You want to continue to blame the rookie offensive coordinator. I understand there are issues with him. Number one, here's the first one. Why they don't run the ball with Cam Latu at fullback more, I'll never understand. I have something on that in a minute. Why I saw Will Shipley getting more carries early on than Tank Bigsby? That's my problem. That's a problem. I agree. And I, for one, will confidently sit here and say, I still believe no matter what happens this year, that Kevin Patullo is still going to be replaced because Jeffrey Lurie does not play this game. Mm-hmm. I completely get that. I don't like Kevin Patullo. I don't think he's the great offensive coordinator at all. I'm not dumb enough to realize that there's more issues on this than just him. And the bigger issue,
there's more issues than just Patullo.
There's one glaring issue, and it is that Jeff Stoutland's unit has not played well once this year. They started to look better for 2 weeks, and look what happened. That's why I brought up the last 2 weeks. I don't care about who they played. I'm sick and tired of that crap. You're supposed to do that to those teams. The O-line looked better in those games. And what happened this week? They reverted right back to what they used to do. Juergens is getting destroyed. Dickerson's getting destroyed. Tyler Steen has stunk all year, in my opinion. I don't think he's been good at all. And Lane Johnson not being here is really hurting that. Because at least in other years without Lane, the other four I could rely on. I can't even run the football to the left side because I can't trust these guys.
Well, but just listen to this. You can't even trust the right side. I mean,
the right side has no lane.
Steen and exactly. Steen and Fred.
And Big Fred, screw that.
Yeah, no.
Listen to this real quick. In the 5 runs that Cam Latu was a blocker against the Bills yesterday, on those 5 carries, they gained 27 rushing yards. That is 5.4 yards per carry. In the 21 run plays he didn't block, they gained 55 yards, which is under 3 yards a carry. What are you doing? I get it. I understand. And that's my frustration with Kevin Patullo. Not reading what's working.
Yeah.
I get that. That's the part I will always agree on. There are parts of it there. But the problem is, what do you want this? And now here's another one. Jalen Hurts was pressured on 5 of his 8 dropbacks in the second half yesterday. He was only pressured on 5 of 21 in the first half. That's a 90% clip of pressures from one half to the other.
Yeah.
You cannot sustain drives when you're stuck in 3rd and 12 every time. And you're not going to sustain them when your offensive line is playing this poorly. This is why, if they have to play a team like the Rams, they will lose. They will lose to the Rams because their defense will hold them in the game. They will lose because Jared Verse, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Josiah Stewart, amongst others, will take those 3 knuckleheads in the middle of this O-line and eat them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then have leftovers waiting for them. That's why they will lose in the playoffs, because this offensive line, and this is why next week, I don't care about the 2 seed. I want to be healthy-ish going into the playoffs. I'm resting those guys because I don't think the 2 issues on the offensive line are Fred Johnson is not good enough to be a starter, and Tyler Steen is not good enough to be a starter. The bigger issues, I hope that they are just with Dickerson and Juergens, they are not healthy. They have not been healthy all season. Those two need rest.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, I've talked about that. I don't care. That's how Jalen Hurts' personality is.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Dude, they listen to him every time he speaks.
He breaks the huddle every game. Mike, they don't have the freaking time to run flea flickers, because by the time the ball gets to the running back, he's getting socked in the mouth.
Now, see, there's one thing, and I don't want to keep making it seem like I'm just throwing every hate that I can at Kevin Patullo.
Right.
The moment it was the fourth down play where Buffalo is like, okay, we can't do crap against this defense. They draw up that little quick pass pitch play, and I'm just like, damn, that was really creative. It threw everybody off. No one saw it coming. They didn't really capitalize off of it, but damn, it was a good play to try and get something going. Fourth down, it moved the chains. Where's the creativity? We'll never see that creativity out of Patullo.
No, and I agree with that, but here's how I look at it too. I understand that we like to talk about all this stuff about, coaching, but players, the wind is just whipping out my window. I'm just waiting for it to happen again. But what I can't understand is you just brought that up with creativity, right? Well, all we've heard all year is that, we run basic offensive plays and vanilla plays and just basic stuff, right?
Mm.
Well, if we can't execute basic plays, what the heck makes you think they're going to be able to execute something like that?
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah. Because guess what? Of the other dropbacks that Jalen had when he wasn't pressured, go back and watch the All-22. There ain't no separation between any of those guys. So, that's my point as well. You want this creativity, and I get it, but if we can't execute the simplest of plays, what makes us think we're going to be able to execute a lateral play like that? That's the issue that we have here. And like I said, I am in no way, shape, or form defending Kevin Patullo. I do not think Kevin Patullo will earn this job back next year. If he does, then we're going to have a nice long talk about it during the offseason. Trust that. But the biggest issue is the offensive line has been so bad all year, and it's not something we are accustomed to. No matter what has been a weak point on this team for years, the offensive line has always been there, and it's not right now. I don't think, and for people saying, Jeff Stoutland's lost, I think you've lost your mind. This offensive line has two guys that are not 100% healthy. Landon Dickerson has not recovered from whatever that injury was in training camp. And Juergens hasn't been healthy all season. The back injury is clearly still hampering him, and his knee is more torn up than we are being told about, because there's no way that he is healthy. And and Tyler Steen just stinks.
Yeah.
Tyler Steen just is not good. And Mailata has not been consistent for about a month and a half now. Early on, I was relying on him and Lane, but even they can't fix those three. But no, we've gotten to the point where this offensive line has been awful for over the whole year. They've had spurts. They look decent against Minnesota. They look decent against the Giants the second time. They look decent the last 2 weeks. But now again, and this is against a Buffalo run defense that isn't good.
Yeah.
Well, you saw it early when they were running the football effectively early when they were winning their matchups. That's what they're doing. They're too busy looking behind at Jalen Hurts than worry about physically enforcing their will on their matchups. Well, and Mike, what are they supposed to change? They're still gonna. What are we saying? They have to adapt to maybe being a throw first team? Maybe that's the only thing they can fix. Because it seems like this O-line is a little bit better in pass protection this year than they are against the run, which that makes zero sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But I mean, there is a clear correlation to think about last year. Run heavy. We usually run the ball on first down. High percentage. We're usually getting like 5 or 6 yards off the rip. So we're coming up second and short, and we're just converting first down after first down after first down. Even if we follow up with another run or a pass, this year, you're running the ball first down. You either lose 2 yards or you're lucky enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. And then from there, you're stuck at either 2nd and 13, 2nd and 10 if you're lucky, so you lose a down. And then it limits the play calling sheet from there. So I get it. I know that the poor offensive line performance has contributed greatly to why this offense looks as bad as it does. I get it's not all on Kevin Patullo, but I still don't trust Kevin Patullo.
I don't think any of us do. I'll agree with you there, nor do I think any of us do. I'm just saying that, like, it doesn't matter what Kevin Patullo does if the offensive line doesn't do their job first. And, Mike, that's the thing. They went away from this again. Mm-hmm. Now, hold on. In this regard, I think the main goal was at halftime. Once again was, we're up 13-0. I understand the defense is carrying the load again. I think the goal was mostly in this game, can we get out of here unscathed?
Oh, yeah. It was a play it safe game. 100%.
Which, if it's not freezing rain, I think we see a lot more of Jalen running. I get like that because we went back to it. We did it against the Raiders. We did it against the Commanders. That's the problem. Why do we do these things against bad teams, but when we play these teams like the Bills, who, by the way, the Bills' defense is not good? Why is it that we change? Like, but I get kind of the idea with why there were no QB runs in this game. The weather was not very pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen tried to run a few times. He couldn't really get his footing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anthony, if I want to play the Rams, I want to play them in Philly. So which it looks like we would because the Seahawks and Niners are battling out for that 1 seed. I play the Packers no matter what. I'm not afraid of the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah. The Packers are not concerning.
No, the Packers don't concern me. I'd go to Lambeau again.
Yeah. Either way you look at it, even if the Eagles lose next week, they should still host their first playoff game.
Yes. If we get the 3 seed, we will host a playoff game. If we get the 2 seed, we would host all the way up to the NFC Championship game. Which, by the way, if the Seahawks end up with the 1 seed, I will gladly go to Seattle. You guys see what Vic Fangio does to guys like Josh Allen. He'll have Sam Darnold in hell if that's the case.
It's going to bring some of them ghosts out on the field.
Mike, the Eagles defense, they were hitting. If you're talking about the Eagles defense, they were hitting.
They were.
And now, Tyler, let's get into that. Let's get into that defense for a minute. We've been on the offense ever since I got back on here from the power outage. Let's get into that defense. What a performance that was yesterday.
The one unit that hasn't let me down at all this year. Not even that loss against the Giants. Still wasn't let down by them.
It was a short week division game on a Thursday. That always stuff like that always happens. The Broncos beat the Raiders 10-7 on a Thursday night.
Exactly. But man, I mean, they come to play 4 quarters. Vic Fangio has that entire unit well oiled, firing on all cylinders. Week in, week out. Even without Jalen Carter for a few weeks. Still had them playing great as a team. But then he comes back, and you saw the immediate impact that he had.
Oh, yeah. I by the way, the shoulders, they look healthy now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I hate to break that, he's still not 100%. He's like 80% now.
Yeah.
But they said they said there was a report that came out like 4 or 5 days ago. He couldn't do a push-up a month ago.
Wow.
So that blocked PAT would never have happened if he never got that little procedure done on his shoulders. So they said he could not do anything with his arms for a while. And remember, this is something that's been lingering. He missed some time in training camp with a shoulder issue, and then we saw the Bucks game where he left for a bit. This shoulder problem has been giving him the fits all year, and he has done his best to be a soldier and battle through it. But no, he changes the complete game with this defensive front, which, by the way, they have had every quarterback they've played this year in misery.
Oh, yeah.
I got numbers for that, by the way. First off, before I get to that real quick, what's up, Carol? I've had her comment on the screen for a minute here. Jalix Hunt in his last 10 games. Listen to this. 36 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 19 quarterback hits, 2 interceptions.
His stats on the season are insane.
That defensive line.
Sacks. He's got 2 forced fumbles as well, and those 2 interceptions. It's ridiculous. And he's a second-year player who's only been playing football for like a few years.
He was a safety at Cornell 4 years ago. He started playing edge his last year in college, and look what Vic Fangio's done with this kid. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, I got another good stat for you. The Eagles, since acquiring Jalen Phillips, 14.5 points per game.
Let me just say, I'm so happy that he didn't suffer any significant injury.
Oh,
I got so worried watching him walk off the field, hobble off the field. Oh, I was really worried. It was promising that he was walking off under his own power, but it still didn't look good.
He was walking gingerly.
He was. He came back out, and he didn't look like he missed a beat.
And now, again, we're on the subject of the 2 guys that got banged up. He got banged up. Britton Covey got banged up.
Oh, man.
No. If Andrew Makuba was not done for the year, which it looks like he is,
I'd cut Sidney Brown. Is that what you're going to say? I would have cut Sidney
Brown on the. I would have sent Sidney Brown home after that play. Sidney Brown has to be the dumbest football player I've ever seen. Not only do you get completely trucked on a kick on a punt block, you purposely trip your blocking assignment into your returner's knee, which could have sent him out for the year. And we were this close to watching Will Shipley field punts. Sidney Brown is easily the dumbest football player I have ever seen.
Man, Dennis, wherever you are, Sidney Brown should not be a Philadelphia Eagle next year. He's just not good. He can't even make the right plays on special teams. He plays like an idiot. He indirectly got... Who else was it that he indirectly hurt this year? Was it Makuba?
Hey, he's the one that broke Makuba's leg.
Mm-hmm. And now he almost took out Covey.
You better keep him away from Jalen on the sidelines.
You better keep him away from Marcus Epps.
I'm glad you brought him up because I will tell you something. Have you not felt that this defense has got a little more juice going to them since he entered the lineup?
Yeah, he hasn't been a weak link. I will say that.
And now, look, I understand there was a deep ball yesterday. The guy caught it in front of him. That's going to happen.
That wasn't on him. I don't think that was on him. I think Reed was supposed to be back there.
Either way, though.
I think he misread the coverage or something.
But Marcus Epps, when he's coming up in the line ready to tackle, he's been amazing. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like Reed Blankenship has been better since Marcus Epps became the second safety. No offense to Andrew Makuba, But when you're a guy like Blankenship, now Reed's been here for a bit. Clearly, there were some gaps between Andrew Makuba and Reed Blankenship. Because Reed's probably back there thinking, like, this kid's a rookie. I got to make sure that he doesn't miss his assignment, but I got to keep sure of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think having that veteran back there in Epps, who's been in the league for a minute now, kind of gets Reed to relax a little bit. Because Reed's playing with a little pep in his step lately. That hit he laid out in that, first of all, that one drive, you've got James Cook getting completely upended by Marcus Epps. Oh, yeah. Then, even though it wasn't a fumble, Cooper DeJean just taking the Bills' right tackle and shoving him to the side.
What a heads-up play. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to dive on this football with a 300-pounder. I'm going to push him out of the way first and then go grab the football.
Then the next play, Jalen Carter obliterates Josh Allen. And then the next play, Reed Blankenship obliterates whoever. I don't know if that was Shakir or who it was, but they came out with a little bit of a pep yesterday. They were wanting to hit.
Yeah, they did. They've been playing like this all year. Very physical, very sound football. Another shout out to Zach Bond, King Bond himself. Without Nakobe Dean, he's out there tracking around James Cook everywhere, all throughout the backfield. Wasn't letting him get anything.
Keep that arm right there and covered. Keep that arm out.
0 wheel routes.
Nah, Mike, they win championships.
They do.
And no, we haven't gotten to the big 4th and goal stop he had.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, right before he gets to Allen, the pump fake by Allen, who else wants to jump? Who else felt like jumping on that one? He had like 3 Eagles defensive linemen jump on that. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But, and here's the thing. I don't want to, like, take away from that, but, like, we kind of expect that from Zach Bourne now. Like, I expect 53 to make plays. And he honestly, by the way, should have had a sack in this game if not for the holding on Marcus Epps, which, by the way, what in the world are we doing?
The phantom hold.
And A.J. Brown could have his arm completely locked up by a defensive back for an entire
play. One hand, 2 hands on his arm. But then meanwhile, deep ball down the field. Who was it to? Shakir and Quinyon was on him, and it's a PI.
And then the other one, then the next one, the deep ball that Quinyon got beat on, which by the way wasn't a catch. Did we miss the guy having Quinyon by his collar to where he couldn't jump?
Oh yeah, they even showed it in the replay. They probably didn't want to, but they did.
Also, by the way, Devontae Smith, worst overturn of a catch I've ever seen.
I saw the ball bobble. I get it. But I'm mad the Eagles didn't challenge that other one against the Bills wide receiver. I'm shocked they didn't challenge that.
Because there would have been conclusive evidence. There's all that crap. It is what it is. But you want to shout out 53, and that's cool. I love me some 53. But for 6 tackles, 4 defensive stops, only 2 catches allowed for 13 yards on 4 targets, a pass breakup, a quarterback pressure, and the big play of the game, that fumble recovery, give it up for number 30, Jahad Campbell, baby. Which, by the way, to all you idiots, he was not throwing the football. He was clearly trying to tuck that and do something else with it.
Yeah. It was a pump fake, and he was going to tuck it. That's literally what he was trying to do. And it slipped out of his hand.
Jahad Campbell getting slotted back into the starting lineup. And remember, this is Jahad Campbell, who was playing very well for all those weeks before Nakobe Dean got back healthy. And to no fault of Campbell's own, I mean, he was kind of benched. To no fault of his own. He was playing great when he was in there. Yeah. I mean, he basically won the Tampa Bay game with that interception in the end zone.
But 2 great veterans. I mean, it's hard.
Dean's just that good of a player. But for him to come in, to get slotted back into that starting role, just like that, to come out and play the way he did. He looked better yesterday than he did early on in the season, and I thought early on in the season he looked really good.
Yeah.
This linebacker room is going to be in good hands for a long time because we don't know what's going to happen with Kobe Dean after the season. But Jahad Campbell played a great game yesterday. And I think the whole defense did.
Oh, they did.
Mike, don't get me started with the flags. We'll be here all day. But no, this Eagles defense was tremendous yesterday. The defensive front just they were good at every level yesterday. Quinyon was good once again. Yeah, had a couple weird deep balls. It happens. Reed Blankenship and Marcus Epps. What's our point of attack with the safeties, Tyler? If I don't hear your name, that's usually a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper DeJean, and that's another credit you want to give Vic Fangio because all year the fan base has been calling and begging. Put Coop outside. Coop needs to go outside. And Vic's like, do you understand how valuable he is in the nickel? Not even just in terms of coverage. As a tackler close to the line of scrimmage and that close to the line in the run game, he is an Iowa defensive back who is basically built like a big safety. He can tackle in the run game, and it's valuable. So for anyone to say, oh, you can plug anyone in the nickel, yeah, you can plug anybody in there, and they're not going to be as good as Cooper DeJean.
Yeah. See Avonte Maddox. Couldn't tackle anything.
Yeah, and look at Michael Carter. The only time I saw him on the field, he knocked Mitchell out of a play that cost us the Cowboys game. And once again, we got to give a shout-out to Adoree Jackson, because if it weren't for him, then we would still be hearing the and look, this was a guy that went through it. Week 1, brutal. We know that. Week 1 was terrible. You were calling for him to get out the lineup. So was I. We tried the Keely Ringo experiment. We saw how that went. Then they trade for Michael Carter. Carter can't get on the field. Now he's out with a non-injury personal reason. So I'm expecting him to get released in the next week or two, probably. And then Jair Alexander, I guess, has officially retired. We have heard nothing about him since. So they tried all these things to try to fix that number 2 corner spot. And Adoree, what did Vic say about Adoree? He's a fighter. You have to be a fighter to last 9 years in the National Football League. And all Adoree did was push his way back into a starting role. And he has played terrific football since then. And he has been the key to the secondary getting shored up, because now Coop can stay where he is, Quinyon can stay where he is, and everybody else just falls into place.
Yep, I agree.
So I want to give a huge shout out to Adoree Jackson.
Oh yeah, he deserves it. He's come a long way, and seeing all these other guys made me appreciate him more and more, because I did know that there was something worse than Adoree Jackson. But Adoree, he's improved from his early goings this year. It's not just like, all right, I've come to accept that he's not that good. He's turned from not that good to solid and reliable as a corner 2.
And you know why we won yesterday? That was revenge, because the Bills ruined our Darius Slay reunion.
Yep, they took him and then
I said it. Because remember, the Eagles were going to claim him. There's no doubt in my mind. And Darius Slay only wanted to be claimed by the Eagles.
Yeah. And then the Bills come out, hey, buddy, how's it going?
Like, they've tried Tank Bigsby being in there as a blocker. The problem is Tank can only block one person. And then when 2 other guys beat the other interior guys, then you're in a free-for-all. I hate when Jalen rolls out to his right and just throws the football away sometimes, but dude, I feel like I saw it every play on Sunday. It was just like bad.
Like the go-to.
But, and don't get me wrong, but once again, they did exactly what Nick Sirianni wants. They played mistake-free football and won the football game. And, people are saying all this stuff about how annoying Nick is. Did you see the tunnel video after the game where he's all hyped? This man is having the best start to a career that any NFL head coach has ever had. He's won 3 NFC East titles, 2 NFC championships, a Super Bowl, and has won 11 or more games in 4 straight years. And guess what? By the way, since the Super Bowl in 2023 against the Chiefs, him and Jalen Hurts are 7-0 against the Big Four. Burrow, Jackson, Allen, Mahomes. They've lost one time. They've lost one time in those 8 games, and that was the Super Bowl. But since then, they're 7-0, and still, all this guy gets is critique from the national media. So you know what? If he wants to come out and be a little cocky SOB, he has all my support in the world, because we clamor over the Ben Johnson merchant over there in Detroit, and I'm going to start calling him that, because who's he playing? What seed are they fighting for right now?
Second, third.
Oh no, they're eliminated.
Oh, you're talking about the Lions.
Yeah.
So I heard Ben Johnson. I confused myself. I was thinking the Bears.
Oh no, I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the Dan Campbell.
Year.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they're eliminated.
So why don't we talk about that? Why don't we keep that same energy? Meanwhile, this guy has gone through an offensive coordinator every year for the past 4 years, still wins 11-plus games, still gets to the postseason, still gets to the Super Bowl, wins one, but we'll talk about that another day. I will fight for my head coach. Is always, I said it on Facebook, always perfect? Nope. Is it pretty? Absolutely not. Does it win? You're damn right it does.
It's consistent.
Because you guys, some of you want to be ignorant and not appreciate this era of football. I didn't get those early Andy years. I was a kid. I wasn't watching football like that. I was 5 years old. I didn't get to live that. I'm living that right now. I've seen 2 Super Bowls. Now I'm getting to see a consistency of a team that no matter how poorly they play some halves, they're still positioned to be a top 3 team in the NFC every year. Mikey, don't do this. Mikey, don't you do this.
Oh, my gosh.
But also, another thing I want to talk about before, I know we got to get to some more NFL stuff, because I do not want to be on. I want to be on Talk to the People, but I'm also weary about this freaking wind that's going through our area tonight. I don't want to get cut out again. Which we had no issues when I got cut out, right?
No.
Okay. Appreciate you holding it down for those few minutes. But if you would have told me coming into the season, and I'm going to take full credit because I called this breakout season. If you would have told me that Jordan Davis would have hit the Peloton bike in the offseason, would come in the best shape of his career, having a career year, if you would have told me that Jalen Carter was just Jalen Carter, even when he's not even at 100%, he's still such an intimidating force on that defensive line. If you would have told me that Jalen Hunt was doing what he was doing, if you told me that Jalen Phillips came in and doing what he was doing, and I'm sitting here and amongst the interior defensive linemen, I know Jalen Hunt leads the team with 6.5, but if you would have told me that the guy that replaced Milton Williams would lead the interior defensive linemen in sacks, I would have told you to put it down for a second. Moro Ajomo is having himself a year.
He is. What a great pass rushing defensive tackle that he's developed himself into.
Tyler, look who's here.
Tim, what's up?
Happy Victory Monday, Tim. And he's agreeing with Fangio, Phillips, not to mention with Campbell and Carter. They need to extend Fangio's contract.
Oh, yeah.
Tim, he needs to be the second. He may need to be the highest paid guy on the team. Sorry, Nick, but you may need to give Vic a raise.
Maybe.
But Moro Ajomo, and just think, he is out. Forget what Milton Williams has had a great start to his career in New England. Moro Ajomo has done better this year than what Milton Williams did last year. He's got more sacks than Milton Williams did last year, more pressures, more hurries. He has been amazing. And honestly, another guy, we thought we'd see Ty Robinson at some point. Turns out he's really a developmental piece. I think maybe next year you'll see a little bit more of him. How about Byron Young over the past 3 to 4 weeks? With Jalen Carter out, he has played well. This interior defensive line is the best in football. There are teams that have better edge rushers, but this interior makes the lives of Jalen Phillips, Nolan Smith, and Jalix Hunt so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, now you can throw BG in there on some pass rushing downs if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think BG coming back has really settled the defense down. Now they got another.
I didn't see much of BG. Was he out there at all yesterday?
Not much. I didn't see much of him either, but I kind of expected that with Jalen Carter coming back. You want to get Carter. I think they wanted to get Carter a lot of snaps this week because I understand. I don't think we're playing the starters this week.
No.
I think they want to.
And with how banged up Washington is, you could probably still sneak a win.
Josh Johnson's their starter this week. They've already confirmed it.
Yeah.
I think Tanner McKee can beat Josh Johnson.
Me too.
But just to point out that this defense has been so good. And we thought remember all offseason, they're depleted. CJ gone. He ain't going to be able, they're not going to be able to survive without CJ again. Well, guess what? What'd I say? We didn't have Vic Fangio last time.
Yeah.
They can't replace Josh Sweat. Well, Jalix Hunt's been pretty good this year, and Jalen Phillips has been pretty good. I can't replace Milton Williams. Moro Ojomo, Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, honestly, is almost like signing another free agent because of how great he's been compared to last year. He was good last year, but fact that he's coming to this, he has impacted a game in every aspect. Batting balls down at the line of scrimmage, being stout against the run, which he's always been. Getting up there into that second level and being an interior pass rusher, blocking field goals. Not to mention, what world does a defensive tackle, a 330-pound defensive tackle, have 70 tackles?
One that can move.
That's linebacker stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This defense has been tremendous since Vic Fangio walked in the door. And he caters to his players and their strengths so well. And it's been amazing to watch. Especially, it feels like ever since the Green Bay game, it's been on lock. They've had one poor game against the Bears, and they gave up, 24 points?
Yeah. And they got exposed in the run game. That's it.
And they haven't had a problem with it since.
Yeah.
They were fine. Even the Chargers game, they played well. They had 7 sacks and 2-3 takeaways?
Yeah, that Chargers game should have been a blowout.
I even thought to be fair, I even think the offense played well in that game. It's just Jalen Hurts. You're not going to turn the football over 4 times and win a game.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm not going to rip Jalen apart. It's his one bad game he's had in 3 years.
Yeah.
But if you take out 3 of those interceptions and then you replace them with points, they win the game. I thought they moved the ball well against the Chargers. I still think they execute. They just didn't finish.
Yeah, they didn't.
And that's why I'm saying, people are like, they played the freaking Raiders and Commanders with the offense the past 2 weeks. I don't go back. I'm going back farther. I understand that it's easy to just say that about, they played the Raiders and the Commanders, but that was supposed to be the get-right games, and it looked like for 2 weeks they did. But now, again, I think the Jalen Phillips thing that happened early in the game even made them think on the offense like, okay, these conditions are kind of hairy. Let's try to get out of this without getting anybody too banged up. Because Devontae got hurt in that game too.
Yeah.
He came on the incomplete pass. He got banged up too. I think during that second half, they were like, let's just do what we can do to win this game. We got to get out of here unscathed. Because they're thinking big picture, and that's why I'm saying I don't think we should. I'm resting my guys next week.
Yeah, I rest them.
You can win with Tanner McKee against Josh Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Plus, honestly, Commanders, Tank Bigsby as your starting rusher, Tank's probably going to run for 100 against the Commanders.
And he won't get a single freaking touch in the playoffs. They're going to activate A.J. Dillon over him on game day.
A.J. Dillon hasn't been released yet?
No, he's still on the roster. But, and the other thing was, the Eagles have one true test left before the playoffs. Did they not pass it?
What test?
Well, no. Remember when we beat the Raiders by 30? We beat the Commanders and Clinch.
Oh,
Like, oh, well,
yeah.
the Bills are the last true test.
Well, think
Well,
about it. Hey,
they passed it in my eyes.
give me a second. In the Bills' last, we're going to go a lot of games here. Scored 23 against the Browns. Scored 35 against the Patriots. Another respectable defense. 39 against the Bengals. It's the Bengals. 26 against the Steelers, who also have a really good defense.
And don't forget how many of these games have they had to come back? They were down 21 to the Patriots.
Yeah. They hung 19 on the Texans, but they lost. They hung 44 on the Buccaneers. I mean, you see in the trend here. We just held them to their lowest totals since I think the Dolphins, when they got blown out by the Dolphins.
Listen.
And they scored 13 in that game.
Listen. The Eagles for the and this is going to segue us into something a little bit later on, but the Eagles this year, they have 11 wins. Some of those wins consist of the Chiefs when they were fully healthy at Arrowhead, the comeback against the Rams, the Bucs when they were in the midst of their 6-2 start, the Packers when they were still a really good team before all the injuries hit, the Lions when they were still a good team. Oh, by the way, they held those teams to 16 combined points. And now the Buffalo Bills. So for all the people that want to tell me that the Eagles don't play anybody, what did I tell you at the start of the year? If you would have told me with this gauntlet of a schedule that we would win the NFC East and we would have at least 11 wins, we said sign me up. We knew it was going to be grueling. We knew you were going to lose to some good teams. You knew you were going to lose some games. And it happened. You lost some games, but you're still a chance to be you're still a top 3 seed. You won the damn East and broke the longest division curse that feels like it forever. You have the in my opinion, what is a top 2 defense in football. There's one down in Texas we got to talk about in a minute. But
yeah, Dallas. Oof.
Are you at? Don't do this. Don't you do this to me. But it has absolutely been See you later, Mikey.
Enjoy,
Love that
Mike.
comment.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy, Mikey. Go Flyers, Eagles soar. I love it. But no, at the end of the day, they are exactly where I expected. Do I expect the offense to be a little bit better? Absolutely. We all do. But to be in this position again is still something we would sign up for every day. I don't want to go back to the Doug Peterson days after the Super Bowl where we were a 9-game wild card team.
Nope. I'll pass.
I don't want to go back to the Chip Kelly days where we were 10-2 and then we lost 4 in a row to lose the division with Sam Bradford and Mark Sanchez. I don't want to go through those days again. I got a quarterback and a head coach and a defense that is consistently winning me games every year, that is putting me in the best position to reach the goal, which is a Super Bowl. The goal is not the NFC East every year. The goal is not the playoffs. Broad Street is the goal. The goal is to be on Broad and Pat every year with this group. Whether you like my head coach or not, or my quarterback, my team wins, yours doesn't. Go help yourself some other way. But, all right, Tyler, let's jump into some of the other games around the NFL. Got a few I want to talk about, and we'll give our thoughts. Let's start out yesterday. I don't really think any of the Christmas games matter to us, really. Commanders and Cowboys are out. Lions and Vikings are out. Broncos clinch. Congratulations. How about the Texans?
How about them Texans?
You want to talk about another offense? First 2 drives look like the best offense in football. After that, nothing.
Yep.
But we talk about the Eagles' defense a lot, Tyler. That Texans' defense is something else.
That's an understatement. I mean, they had, 5 sacks on the day, 8 tackles for loss. Not sure if they had any interceptions or not.
Yeah. Al Shahir had one at the goal line.
Yep, Al Shahir had the interception. I mean, Houston's a hot, scary team right now. And this was a big test playing this Chargers team. Chargers were playing well too. But Houston just seems to have everything going right for them.
8 straight.
8 straight. And this is even with CJ Stroud throwing 2 interceptions.
Which I don't want to really get too much on because up until Saturday, he'd actually been playing some pretty good football.
He has, yeah.
Look, we know what the Texans are. We also know what the Texans aren't. Their offense at this point in the season, it's like the Eagles. They are what they are. They're not going to get better. They're going to stick to what they do. They're going to make enough plays to win, and that defense is going to go after you.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I got some very interesting numbers on their defense. Danielle Hunter has 8 sacks in the fourth quarter of games this year. That is the most in the NFL. Listen to this one. Will Anderson has 43 pressures just on third down alone. That's first in the NFL. Here are the better two. Kalen Bullock in the fourth quarter has a 1.7 passer rating allowed in the fourth quarter of games this year. Derek Stingley in the fourth quarter has a 4.9 passer rating allowed. First among Bullock is first in the NFL. Stingley is first amongst corners. By the way, Stingley, Bullock, Kamari Lassiter, and Jalen Petrie all have 4 or more interceptions.
Jesus. You're forgetting the greatest Derek of all. Derek Barnett, who's got 5 sacks on the year.
You see the spin move he broke out on Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can tell the Chargers are down to their third string tackles.
That's the spin move that people thought we were getting the second coming of Reggie.
Stop with that.
I mean, hey, man, you know, you live and you learn.
Hey, Derek Barnett will still be famous for the fumble recovery in the Super Bowl. I'll take it all day.
Still an impact in the Super Bowl. Can't take nothing away from him for that.
Then he became a bonehead.
Yeah. Was he ultimately a first-round bust? We drafted him at 14, yeah, but it's all right, though. Here we are.
I've seen worse than Derek Barnett.
Of course.
I mean, Barnett had in Philly his years. He had 5 sacks, 2.5, 6.5, 5.5, 2, and then in 23-24 he had 0, but he got released.
So you're telling me this year he could probably break his career high in sacks?
And his second year, when he only had 2.5, he only played 6 games. He's been a very consistent, steady, rotational edge rusher throughout his career.
Yeah, something you would expect out of like a 3rd, 4th rounder.
Honestly, let's be real. Right now, Jalen Hunt is on pace to have a better career.
Oh, yeah.
I think Jalen Hunt's going to be a really good player when he gets fully polished.
I knew Jalen Hunt was going to be a good player. I didn't expect the impact that he's had so far this year, though.
And once again, Jalen Phillips has helped that a lot because early in the year when Nolan Smith went down, Josh Uche and them were doing the best they could. But again, they're all rotational players. Yep. But Jalen Hunt's been really good this year. And I'm expecting big things for him in his career. Let me ask you, I know Denver's got a good one. I know the Eagles have a good set of Phillips and Hunt and Nolan Smith. I may think the Texans, have the best edge rushing combination in the league.
Oh, they do.
I don't think there's anybody better than Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter.
It's scary, those two.
Like Micah and Rashawn Gary, they're good when they're healthy, but these two are unfreaking believable with what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let me look at this real quick. Hunter has 14 sacks. And Will Anderson has 12. Like, these two are just unbelievable. And hey, you know what? Another good what about their young guys? Higgins, Noel, making plays at wide receiver on a team that's been desperate for playmakers. I mean, they acquired Christian Kirk from Jacksonville in the offseason. He hasn't really played all that well. Tank Dell is still down. But they've been helping Nico Collins out enough. Dalton Schultz has been playing well. And how about Woody Marks? They haven't had a run game all year. Woody Marks has been doing pretty solid for them. If I'm not mistaken, I think Woody's actually, yeah. I mean, on the year, Woody Marks, who is 25, he's won Texas for a little bit. 655 rushing yards for Woody Marks. Not bad for when you thought you were going to have Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb this year.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, at this point, CJ Stroud, the offense, they are what they are. They're going to make some plays. They're going to make some mistakes, but I like this Texans team, man. I'm telling you, if I'm an AFC team, I don't want to play this team.
Yeah, I'd be scared playing the best defense in football.
Well, didn't I kind of call this in the beginning of the year? Because what did I tell you guys?
Yeah.
They do the two best things you can do in football. They get after the quarterback and they take the football away. That's what they do. And not to mention, don't forget their linebackers either, because Henry To'oTo'o and Al Shahir, them boys fly to the football.
They do.
Except when Al Shahir's trying to punch people in the face, but that's another story for another day. Tyler, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm concerned about the Chargers in the playoffs. I don't know if they could keep Justin Herbert up enough.
I see him as a first-round exit.
Yeah. And I love that team. I love Jim Harbaugh. Love Justin Minter and his defense. I just don't know how they keep Justin Herbert upright enough to win a playoff game.
And the other issue is that Justin Herbert was, yet again, your leading rusher. Told you they're gonna miss the dynamicness that Vidal brings, because he's a threat when he's on the field because he can catch and he can run. Hampton, he's been a solid runner so far. Didn't run well against the Texans. 29 rushing yards, averaged 2.1 yards. That's terrible.
Yeah. What other game? Any other games you want to jump into? I got a few.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Browns and the Steelers.
You mean the Steelers that all they cared about was not letting Myles Garrett break the record against them?
Yeah, they just forgot to win the game.
And now they set up for a Sunday night matchup for the whole division.
Yeah, which I'm not mad about.
Not either.
That'd be interesting.
How about... By the way, did anybody game plan for Derrick Henry this week?
No. Not
Good Lord. Tyler, let me just make sure I read this right. 36 carries, 216 yards, and 4 touchdowns?
That was Tennessee Henry.
No, that is Madden on rookie Henry. That's going to the last regular season edition of the Friday Night Gridiron picks is going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the Steelers. If the Steelers were to somehow lose their division, you could blame this all on DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I think I called it last week. I said that DK Metcalf not playing is going to hurt them. Because I get it. People want to try and, say he's terrible. He's still their number one wide receiver. He still gets a majority of their pass catching opportunities. He was going to be missed.
And now, like, they don't have much of an offense without him because, I mean, they're trying to get they were trying to get the tight ends more involved over against the Browns, but it didn't do enough. I mean, they needed to score 14 points and they couldn't do it. Which, by the way, speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers and their tight ends, let's do a little check.
Oh, gosh.
Jonnu Smith had 5 catches for 18 yards on Sunday.
And still less than Pat Freiermuth,
who had 3 for 63. So Pat Freiermuth is standing at 435 for the year to Jonnu Smith's 220 with 1 week to go.
Do I get a substitution?
You do. You can't because you will not substitute because Darnell Washington broke his arm.
Oh, wait, he broke his arm?
He broke his arm on Sunday.
What? Oh, man. You know what? I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but that doesn't surprise me because after watching him and how he goes down every time he's about to be tackled, it doesn't surprise me that he broke his arm.
A dude that big is afraid to get tackled?
No, not afraid to get tackled, but the way he braces himself. I feel like he always goes head first, like planted into the ground with his arms. I feel like he looks so awkward going down, bracing for a tackle.
Yeah. Well, now the Steelers, they got to prepare now for Sunday night because they could have locked that division up on Sunday and they failed to do it.
That's rough because, I mean, Washington was a decent little, impact player for him.
Yeah. And, of course, we all have to see what the status of all the pending players are. TJ Watt. Does Lamar Jackson play on Sunday night?
Yeah, if he doesn't, it's going to be rough.
I mean, I know Snoop Hundley got you through the Packers, but the Packers are reeling themselves, so.
No, Snoop Hundley didn't get them through. Derrick Henry got them through.
Okay, I know that, but
that's the same Derrick Henry who had to carry Ryan Tannehill, okay?
I think you just insulted Ryan Tannehill a lot by comparing him to Snoop Hundley.
I wasn't trying to compare him to Snoop Hundley. Not a 1-to-1 comparison, at least.
You were doing something there, but I'm not gonna. We're not gonna stand for that. All right, now Tyler, let's get to Sunday night. What a freaking game between the Bears and the 49ers. 42 to 38?
42 to 38.
Caleb Williams, 25 of 42, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy, 24 of 33, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 23 carries for 140 yards and a touchdown. Also added 4 catches for 41 yards. By the way, PFF, your rankings suck. They have Christian McCaffrey as the 18th best running back in football this year. Please shut your site down.
Well, technically, he's been equally as good as a wide receiver as a running back this year. So,
Tyler, what are your biggest takeaways from the Sunday night shootout, that we will call it?
Biggest takeaways, man. Both teams did a good job of keeping their quarterback upright. There were not many turnovers. It was just the pick 6 Purdy threw. And you would never think that ever happened when you look at the final score of this game.
Shout out former Eagle TJ Edwards.
Yeah. I'll even take it back further. After that pick 6, the 49ers scored 2 touchdowns unanswered and went up 14-7. So he didn't let that phase him at all. And it was just back and forth the rest of the night. Again, Chicago's run game wasn't the greatest. They had a total of 110 yards. Caleb Williams was asked to be great, and he almost got them there.
I was going to say, if you say he was asked to be great and wasn't, I was going to fly through the camera.
He almost got them there. I can't fault him for it. You know, I mean, how many times are you going to put up 38 and lose?
Not many
At some
times.
At some point, your defense has to make the play.
And their defense is a lot healthier than the Niners.
Exactly.
Who did make the play. Yeah, it's like now, like that's even the question mark. Like, even though they scored 38 and Caleb was amazing, like if that run game doesn't get going, it's like they don't. I don't want to say this week is because the run game didn't get going, but I mean their defense wasn't good outside of the opening play. But
what does the run game do? It allows for you to run the clock out more, shortens the game. Bijan Robinson scored a touchdown. But 49ers...
Did Bijan score?
He did, yeah. 49ers, they put on quite the clinic. Brock Purdy, very impressive. 24 for 33, 303 yards, average 9.2, 3 passing touchdowns. And he also had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Brock Purdy's been playing some really good football over the past month.
He has. Trust me, he's definitely quieted a lot of haters that he's had. But then you also go back and you look at, okay, is Shanahan just this much of a great coach? Because he had Mac Jones looking great too.
Oh, Mac Jones is going to be the next starting quarterback for somebody next year.
Oh, yeah.
Now, see, here's what annoys me, right? George pops his head in every time the injury report for the Niners showed up, but yet when we give him a compliment, he ain't nowhere to be found.
Yeah, right. But we have good things to say about them. Nowhere to be found.
And again, once again, another game without George Kittle.
And that backup tight end stepped in perfectly. If you go back and look at the games that George Kittle was out, this kid stepped up. Jake Tongas?
Tongas, yeah. I
don't know. But he's stepped up and he's performed. He's got quite a few games this year. Let's see. Jacksonville, he had 58 yards, a touchdown. Tampa Bay, 58 yards. 60 yards just last night against the Bears and a touchdown. 41 yards and a touchdown against the Rams.
I would sign up for Niners Bears in the playoffs again. That was such an entertaining game.
Oh yeah, like that's a playoff preview that you won.
Honestly, even the Bills and Eagles, that was a playoff preview, a downright defensive battle. I'll take either of those.
Well, that would be a Super Bowl preview, but.
But in your playoff games, you either want to see a back and forth offensive explosion or a defensive battle on both sides. I don't want to see 37-10.
Yeah. But honestly, another one we already talked about: Texans Chargers. I'd see it again.
Absolutely, you may.
I think we may.
One last game I'd like.
Done for.
One last game I want to give a little shout out to. Jacksonville win again. A come from behind. They were down 17-10 for a sec. Lawrence, not his best game, but ETN played pretty well. Parker Washington, another 100-yard game. Jacksonville defense racked up a couple sacks, couple turnovers. Did anybody see the funny last play of the game?
No.
You didn't see the last play of the game? The Hail Mary?
No.
Riley Leonard was put in the game because they didn't feel that Phillip Rivers could make the throw and get it to the end zone.
I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But let me guess, Riley Leonard probably didn't throw it that much further, did he?
Oh, he actually got into the end zone.
Oh, really? Wow.
I do got a couple NFL shout outs, if real quickly. If you want to touch on any of them before as we move through them, you can. Shout out to the Broncos for winning the AFC West. Shout out to Derrick Henry for moving into 4th all-time in rushing touchdowns with 121 and 10th all-time in all-time rushing yards with 12,743. And, of course, that is counting because he's still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Dallas Goedert for becoming the Eagles' single-season record holder for touchdowns by a tight end with 11. Howie, I know we have a lot of decisions to make this offseason, but keeping 88 should be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, without DK Metcalf, how are they moving the ball? They can't move the football.
They can't.
Anthony, Garrett's going against the Bengals offensive line next week. He's definitely getting it.
If he doesn't get it, I'd be shocked.
Shout out to the Patriots for reclaiming the AFC East once again. By the way, Patriots fans, you're also welcome. We helped you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Trey McBride, who set the all-time single-season record for receptions by a tight end with 117. Speaking of which,
Anthony, he probably will be with no rings.
Ooh, that's mean.
Unless he gets traded. I don't see the Cardinals building a Super Bowl team within the next decade.
He got some building blocks.
Some. And you still got a knucklehead head coach.
Well, he's going to get fired soon anyway.
Oh, you hear he wasn't worried about his job security.
He also said he wasn't leaving Philadelphia either.
Fair enough.
I mean, look, an offense, a building of an offense that starts with Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison and Wilson, who's now developing as a pretty solid wide receiver too. Good start. Defensively, healthy Walter Nolan and Will Johnson with Budda Baker. You can make, and you have Josh Sweat, who, by the way, had a really good year this year.
Oh yeah.
You can make the case that they have the pieces. They don't have a coach. The coach is a brain dead dimwit.
They need a hit on quarterback. Get James Conner back healthy.
They also have Denzel Burke, who's a rookie. They have two former Big Ten corners. Will Johnson, who was at Michigan, and Denzel Burke, who was at Ohio State. 4-year starter. This year in his rookie year, 41 total tackles, 3 interceptions. There's building blocks there.
I want to give a shout out to Quinn Ewers in his first NFL start.
Was that a second?
Was it a second?
He played last week.
Oh, no. Maybe this is his first actual good week of his NFL start.
His first win.
His first win. Let's see. Oh, no, he actually played decent last week, too. Never mind. 2 interceptions. I lied. So he played his first interception-free week of football in his NFL career. Good job.
There you go.
And he had a 63-yard passing touchdown to a guy I've never heard.
Hey,
somehow they won the game, and Jalen Waddle had 0 catches, 0 targets. Oh, I take it back. 1 target, 0 catches. Welcome to the NFL at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, God. I got one more shout out. If you have any, feel free, but I have one more. They were projected to win, if anything, 2 games this year. And they just came off beating the Titans for their 6th win of the year. Shout out Kellen Moore and what he's done with New Orleans this year.
He has done a lot more with a lot less. And I get it, it's Tennessee. Did you see Tyler Show's numbers?
How do you pronounce his last name? I know that's not it.
Show?
Is it that? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Tyler Show.
I'm about to bring up a video to hear his name, but You talk, I'll listen.
He was 22 for 27, 333 passing yards, average of 12.3, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. Only got sacked
Ladies
twice.
and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the New Orleans Saints in today's video. I want to mainly talk about Tyler Shuck because the dude
What?
is
No, that guy did not say it right. There's no way. No,
this strip
They are saying it's Tyler Shuck.
recovery for the touchdown
no.
from Chase Young.
Go watch a draft video.
I'm not going back that far, buddy. I also want to apologize for accidentally unmuting my mic. I had it
I'm
muted for
glad you
that,
did because that guy sounded like he butchered his name. There's no way that sounds pronounced.
but no. And I mean, what about what he's done this year for Chris Olave?
Yeah, he's revitalized Olave. Let's see, when did Show actually get the start? Gotta go.
Oh, while you look at that, listen to these numbers for Olave this year: 100 catches on the year. He's been targeted 156 times. Jesus, 1,163 yards, 9 touchdowns.
So it looks like he got the start October 26th. So let's go back to Olave real quick. Let's check out his game log since October 26th. 63 receiving yards, 57. Meh. Then he had 100, 70, 47, 30, 85, 148, 119. So I'm not going to put too much into that basket because it was the Jets and the Titans. It's not bad. But they've also he had some success with the other quarterbacks too. He had 2 98-yard games before Show.
But yeah,
but
which was weird.
I mean, hey, Olave, this is the healthiest year he's had in far as I can remember. He's sitting at 1,163 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns. I mean, he's enjoying a great year, all things considered. He's still only 25.
Yeah. Even Spencer Rattler wasn't god awful when he was the starter. But no, for what they were dealing with this year, give credit to Kellen Moore. He really righted that ship. And they honestly, I mean, they're going to probably go 6-11, 7-10. That's not bad. They were projected to win, what, 2-3 games, if that?
Yeah, because no one knew who was going to be playing quarterback.
And I got one more shout out. Shout out to the Raiders, who are probably going to ruin Fernando Mendoza's career.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, you go to a team with Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers, that's not the worst starting point.
No, could be worse.
It does sound like Pete Carroll will not be the head coach next year, which I think we all kind of saw coming.
He's getting fired.
I don't think he's getting fired. He's just stepping down.
Really?
We saw, well, there were reports early on that this was expected to be a 1-year basis thing.
That's true. I do remember that.
All right. So now, wait, what happened? Did Matthew Stafford they just turn the football over?
Yeah, because Kyron Williams got blown up.
Oh, Rams offense is struggling. Fire the OC. Fire them right now. Fire them all. It's the Falcons. Come on.
All right, Sam. They probably already have more passing yards than the Eagles' total yards in the second half.
No, that's cute. Eagles won the game.
They did. They did indeed.
Anthony has one. He said, shout out to Brock Purdy. He's becoming what we thought he would be a dog. He has really played well lately. And, see, this is the fun thing we like to do. We like to take digs at Purdy. Anthony and with Anthony, we'll take digs at the Commanders. He'll take digs at the Eagles. And this is what we do, though. We're unbiased. As much as we like to make the cases about our quarterback and our team, Brock Purdy's been he's been amazing since he came back from being injured. He was banged up a lot. Mac Jones held the fort down, and Brock Purdy's taken full advantage of it. Purdy's playing He's playing like a top 10 quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, dude, the NFC playoffs are going to be a bloodbath.
They are. I can't wait till after this next week, once everything's set in stone.
Which, before we get into the college football playoff predictions real quick, I do want to ask you a question. You know, the Niners, if the Niners win next week, they're literally not going to have to leave they're not going to have to leave San Francisco because the Super Bowl is literally in San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
They will literally have home field advantage throughout the rest of the year. The Niners, on the other hand, though, did have one of the weaker schedules heading into the season. But they do have victories over teams like the Rams and the Bears. I need to ask you this question, and I want a full, honest answer. Are we overrating the strength of schedule conversation?
In what regards?
Like people say, oh, you only played this team, you only played that team. Like, are we just like, it doesn't matter? If you're a good team, you're a good team.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of that is what the Eagles have done. They've had the hardest schedule in the NFL. They won the Super Bowl. And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. And, like, I get it. Some people will say, you play who you play. But you can't discredit that some teams face better opponents, especially based off of how they were the year before. Like, one thing that kind of scares me is next year, the Lions are probably going to have a little bit of an easier schedule. Once they get healthy.
Sure.
But I don't think it's bogus. I do think it actually legitimately has an impact. And I get it. Another argument is, oh, you never know which team's going to be bad, which team's going to be good. While that can be true, usually year in, year out, you have a good idea of who a good team's going to be.
Okay, but heading into this season, did you expect the Bears to be the 2 seed in the NFC this late into the season?
Nope.
Okay, then. So that's the point. Did you expect the Lions to not be a top 3 seed this year?
I didn't expect them to not make the playoffs.
Did you expect the Packers to be a 7th seed after acquiring Micah Parsons?
Oh.
That's my point. You can't. Did you expect the Niners to be a playoff team after losing Bosa, Warner, and Kittle for weeks? Did you expect the Niners to be this good?
So my answer varies based off of what point in time are you asking me this question? Are you asking me before this all happens, like from the beginning of the season standpoint? Is that where, because the strength of schedule is set before the season begins?
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's fair to say, oh, well, this team had an easy path. No NFL game is an easy path. Go ahead. Like, oh, the Buccaneers and the Bills have easy paths. They lost to the Dolphins, for God's sakes. These are still NFL football teams. Maybe not the freaking Jets, but that's another story.
Oh, no. Why you got to do the Jets like that?
Stop. Don't ask.
At least they won more games than the Raiders.
Anthony, they've been a disappointment since their bye week when they were 6-2. Well, hey, you know what? They got to do all that gloating and saying, oh, we ended the struggling 2023 Eagle season, and now they're getting to go through what our pain felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only 2 teams in the past 8 weeks that have a worse record than the Buccaneers. You want to know those teams?
The
Raiders and the Cardinals.
Ooh.
But I just think it's a stupid thing because it's the NFL. Eventually, everybody's going to play everybody every season. Now, there are seasons where a certain division doesn't play each other, but they're all NFL teams still. Like, where are we getting this weak schedule stuff? Like, you think the Rams thought this year, oh, we're going to definitely lose to the Panthers? You still got to play the game.
Yeah, like that's another good example. That's a team where I would have told you they're an easy win on people's schedules. That's not true at all.
They're 7-1 this year, I think, in 1-score games. The Panthers are 7-1 in 1-score games. Make that make sense.
Yeah. It's definitely a surprise. Like, when I I think people take it out of proportion when they talk about strength of schedule. I think, yes, some teams may have maybe two easier games on their schedule than somebody else. But for the majority of the schedule, they're all tough games, tough opponents. I don't think it's this team had like 8 games where they played poor opponents, had 8 easy wins. No. Maybe if you talk about picking out 2 of them over the course of the 18 weeks, then maybe. But I think that some people definitely blow it out of proportion.
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to make the case of. Like, if you're a good team, you're a good team. You win 10, 11 games a year, you're a good team. It don't matter who you play.
Yeah.
But shall we get into the final segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Tyler, you were nice enough to find this for me before the show. Let's get into it. College football playoffs round 2. We got a heck of a New Year's Eve and New Year's Day ahead for us. So, just in case anybody needs the reminder, we have Oregon at Texas Tech playing. Then we have Alabama versus Indiana, Ole Miss and Georgia, and Miami and Ohio State. Tyler, where you want to start this off at?
Let's kick this off. Let's go New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Ohio State, Miami.
How you feel? How do you feel about this one?
Oh man, I'm trying to pull up some numbers on this because I want to see how much Ohio State's being favored.
Oh, I got that right here for you.
Ohio State looks like they're 9.5-point favorites.
Oh, I don't like that. Let's see. Yes, they are 9.5 favorites. Oof.
So, from what we've seen out of Miami, we know typically they have what it takes. Defensively, I think they have what it takes. The question again is, what Carson Beck are we getting?
Also, I think we have to fairly agree here. Ohio State has way better of an offense than Texas A&M does.
They do.
A&M's a good team, but A&M was more of a defensive dogfight because both teams' offenses didn't play well.
So this is a game. Carson Beck's going to have to be good. He's going to have to go toe-to-toe with Julian Sain.
And his 2 NFL wide receivers.
Yes.
And the Ohio State defense is the best in the country. Matt Patricia has done a tremendous job with that unit this year after losing all of those players to the draft. After Jim Knowles leaves for Penn State, thank God he's in Tennessee. But Ohio State's got to make sure they keep them tabs on Ruben Bain because we saw what he did in that A&M game. He single-handedly changed the whole outcome of that game.
He did.
And Miami, I think Miami does have the pieces to make this a game. I don't think this is going to be like last year where Ohio State blew out everybody. Now, the question also comes to Ohio State. Does the bye week factor into this? They haven't played football in a while.
I'm going to say no. I think Ohio State is a well-coached, well-disciplined enough team to where it won't affect them that much.
Well, I think I see where we're both going with this one. I'm going to go first because I'm going to go with what the great Joe Davis said at the end of the World Series. To beat the champ, you got to knock him out. I'm going with Ohio State.
Yeah. I love the – I don't think the 9.5-point spread is fair.
No.
But definitely give me Ohio State, at least by a touchdown.
This is going to be a one-score game. This is 100% going to be a one-score game. All right, Tyler. Which one? I'll let you pick go in the order you want.
Let's see. Let's go up to the Orange Bowl between Texas Tech and Oregon. This one is actually probably the closest spread. Oregon's 2.5-point favorites as the fifth
That's
seed.
interesting. Ooh.
That's
This
a
is
tough one. They both
this is
played great all year.
this is literally the battle of a high-powered offense against an elite defense because that Oregon offense with Dante Moore and those wide receivers have been explosive and big-time playmakers all season.
Yeah.
But then if you go over to that Texas Tech front seven, led by Jacob Rodriguez, who has the interceptions, the tackles, the forced fumbles, David Bailey, who has 13 and a half sacks this year for them. Oh my God, this is such a
It's
tough game. I am a little concerned with Texas Tech's quarterback play. I do not believe it. Can they go toe to toe with Oregon's offense?
You don't think so?
I don't know, man.
I think their running back gives them a good chance. He almost has 1,100 yards on the year, 14 rushing touchdowns.
Like Morton's been solid. You know, he's got a 67% completion percentage, 22 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. This is kind of funny. He has 37 rushing attempts this year for minus 81 yards.
So he's gotten sacked all year? I'm confused.
Yes, he is not Dante Moore athletically.
Yikes. Oh, man. So let's see. I'm looking at Texas Tech's last 5 games versus Oregon's last 5 games. I gotta go Oregon. I hate to say it. Again, I think this game, another one-score game, I think it comes right down to the last play. But I think Oregon wins it.
You know, I thought Oregon was the best team in the country 5 weeks into the season. Their offense was potent. They were beating everybody by 20 plus. Came into the whiteout, beat Penn State, even though I really don't count that as a really big win anymore because James Franklin beating him. As long as you have a number next to your team name at that time, you'll beat James Franklin. Virginia Tech fan, which by the way, Virginia Tech fans, stay away, leave our program alone. You guys are obsessed with us for some reason. You know what though? I've rode with this team all year. I'm not a fan. I'm a Penn State guy. We know this, but I love me some good defense. I love a great front seven. I think Jacob Rodriguez may be the best middle linebacker I've seen in a long time. I'm going with Texas Tech. I think that defensive front is going to be a handful.
All right.
And this is another one-score game.
Agreed.
Anthony is right, though. All these teams have been off, so it's like, who knocks the rust off quicker?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Which one we got up next, Tyler?
I want to head over to the Rose Bowl. The rematch. Actually, wait, no, rematch. They didn't play each other this year.
This is SEC and Big Ten, Tyler.
Yeah, I was thinking of the previous week when Alabama played who was it? I guess then they played
Oklahoma.
Georgia. Oh yeah, Oklahoma.
Oh no, Georgia. Yeah, you're all over the place.
I'm all over the place. Let's get back to Alabama, Indiana. Indiana's the best team in the nation. Alabama, they had a great win against Oklahoma. But I don't see them doing it against Indiana. Indiana's been great. Mendoza's been great. They have a decent rushing attack, good wide receivers.
Speaking of which, Omar Cooper is good to go. He did get hurt in the Big Ten title game, but he is good to go for this
That's
week.
good.
So,
And Indiana plays some pretty damn solid defense too.
Indiana's they held Ohio State to 10 points.
Yeah. I just think that they're built different. And if Indiana goes down this year, I don't think it's going to beat Alabama. We're looking at a 7 point spread. Indiana's favorited. Yeah. Give me Indiana by 10.
Indiana by 10.
Mm-hmm. By 10.
Oh, yeah, Anthony. The Colorado's having a real fall from grace in college football now, aren't they?
You know who needs to be great for Alabama to have a chance? Ryan
Who would
Williams.
that be?
Because Ryan Williams was a ghost in their win over Oklahoma.
Personally, I think the only way that Alabama even has a legitimate chance of making this close or making it a game, they have to get production out of their running backs.
Which they haven't really gotten all year, so that's why I'm not confident.
So I'm going with Indiana. Ty Simpson, and even I don't even think Ty Simpson played that great of a game against Oklahoma. Oklahoma's defense gave Bama the fits early, but the problem was the thing was that Alabama took away John Mateer's legs, and they weren't able to run the ball with him on draws or QB draws or anything. They weren't able to do it like they've done the teams all year. Well, Mendoza, he'll run a little bit, but he wants to sit back there and pick you apart. Alabama allowed John Mateer to have he completed 27 of 41 passes, so I'm going with the Hoosiers.
Yep.
I guess that leaves us with only one.
Ole Miss versus Georgia.
If I get my power
should have
cut out
been a
again
better
right
game.
now. This could still be a good game. Ole Miss looked good. I know it was against Tulane, but I expect Ole Miss to do that to them.
Yeah. They beat a team that they should have.
And they blew the doors off them. So
Stafford
this
just got
could
picked. Pick 6. Yikes.
What happened?
Stafford just got picked off for 6.
Fire the OC right now. Fire him. Let's go.
Yep. Guess who, Sam? Jesse Bates.
He's so good. Him and Xavier Watson, the back end of that defense. If that Falcons team can get that defense going next year with their young pass rushers, dude, that defense can play. They got players. Now, the last time these two teams met, Georgia did hold on and beat them 43-35. Now, Georgia still has a very solid defense, but it's not the dominant defenses that they had a couple years back, with the Jordan Davis and the Jalen Carter and the Kobe Dean and all those guys. You can make plays on them. Ole Miss's offense, they dropped 35 on them. The issue is Ole Miss's defense allowed 43. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be another high-scoring affair. I'm going to go with Georgia. Gunnar Stockton is the most he does not get enough respect around the world around college football with how good he's been for that Georgia Bulldogs team. He's that dual threat quarterback that just kills you with his legs when he has to, and he can make any throw he's asked to. I'm going with the Dogs.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm going to actually go with Ole Miss for the upset.
We're going to Cinderella run this thing because of Lane Kiffin leaving?
That's one part of it. But what I'm looking at here is Chambliss has had a really good year this year. They have good wide receivers, but they have a really good running back. Kawan Lacey didn't play great against Georgia first time around of the year. He carried the ball 12 times for 31 yards, averaged 2.6. But in the games after that, he had 78 against Oklahoma. He didn't have the greatest yard average, but he had 78. Against South Carolina, he had 167. Against Florida, he had 224.
Oh my gosh.
Mississippi State, he had 143. And against Tulane in the blowout, I'm pretty sure they probably rested him. He had 15 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown. On the year, he has 1,366 rushing yards, 21 rushing touchdowns, a 5-yard average. I think he's going to step up and have a bigger game against Georgia, and I think that's going to give them that extra dynamic that they need to get past them. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game again. This time, I'm going 35-32 Ole Miss.
We're going to have a heck of a New Year's Day then.
Oh, yeah.
I think the highest amount any of these games will end will be a 10-point win, and I can see that being Indiana against Alabama.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like one of those, oh, wow, they were up by 17 and then Bama scored garbage time. I see it as like a close 10-point game. This is going to be a very good week of college football. So, with that being said, Tyler, we're putting a wrap on 2025. Before we get off tonight, do we have anything we would like to say? Because we are wrapping up a very good year here over at 609.
I'd just like to thank all the fans for sticking with us for this whole year. It's been a great year. One of the best ones we've had doing this. And every single show, always enjoyable. And it wouldn't be possible without all the people joining us every night.
I couldn't have said that better myself. I mean, if you think about it, like all our great fans, and I could probably name off the rip. I mean, Anthony always bringing in his great comments like this when he brings in that Matthew Stafford is now tied with Brett Favre for the most picks in NFL history. Oh my gosh!
The guy who was our MVP favorite just broke a record, but not the one that he wanted to.
Thanks, Panthers. You broke Matthew Stafford. But I mean, from Anthony always coming in with great comments. Him and Espo and Zolt are always holding down the YouTube comments. Georgie always guest appearing with us, always. And I mean, of course, George has done so much for us, making us our backdrops, our intros, helping us create 609 Sports Talk Radio. Speaking of the devil himself, there he is. What's up, Georgie?
Man, that must have been a great day for you, George. You get to watch the Browns win and then the 49ers win.
But his choice and birthright fandom are both happy.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, from Georgie's always in here talking with us. He's always guest appearing. Dustin, who we met this year, always coming on with us, talking about stuff with us, always being a guest. And then, of course, all of our commenters. I mean, Kaylee, Orlando, Brian, Clint. I mentioned Zoe earlier on the YouTube side with Anthony and Espo. Who can forget our Eagles lady, Carol, who has been one of the best fans that we could ever ask for. Don't forget about Stephanie Padilla and David Burns, who are always throwing their comments in here as well, amongst so many others. And Alex and Steven always throwing some comments in when they can. Mikey, who was blowing up the Facebook chat earlier. Dalton and our friends over at 302 Birds. And of course, we also see some pop-ins from our friend Brandon over at the Football Frame of Mind. They do a good job as well. I was lucky enough to do one of their shows before the season started for college football. Got to do a Big Ten show with them. Dennis and Fratty they also throw their comments in whenever they have a chance. And guys, from the bottom of our hearts, 2025 has been our best year yet doing 609. Making the transition to 609 Sports Talk Radio has been awesome. And once again, George, I know you just threw your comment in. You are a big reason on why we've gotten to this point, helping us with all our graphic arts stuff. You put little details on everything, which makes it so awesome. Everything comes out great. Guys, we're wrapping up 2025. Don't forget, Friday Night Gridiron picks, NFL Week 18 this Friday, the first show of 2026. 2025 has been awesome to us. We are we are ready for what 2026 brings us. We got big things planned for 609. We want to bring more stuff to you guys every week because you guys make these shows possible. We could sit on our cell phones and talk for 2 hours about sports, but to sit here and talk to you guys through the comments every night and listening to your guys' opinions is what we are here for. We are here to be voices for the fans. It's easy to go on ESPN and FS1 and listen to rage bait BS all day. I could do that for 3 hours a day and call it a day. But we come here, we bring you exactly what the name of this show, unbiased, unfiltered sports talk that you guys deserve. Because guess what? Some of you guys are fans of teams that they don't care to talk about. Anything that you want to talk about, you can throw it in the comments. It doesn't have to be on the show agenda. We'll still talk about it because that's what we do. So guys, 2025 is officially a wrap. 2026 is right around the corner. It's going to be a big year for 609 Sports Talk Radio. So please, if you haven't joined the ride, hop on now. And for everybody that has been here with us since day one and everybody who has gone through 2025 with us, we thank you so much for being with us through the ride. And let's continue the momentum into 2026. We will see you guys on Friday for the last regular season edition of the Friday Night Gridiron Picks. But guys, stay safe. Have a happy new year, and we will see you guys on Friday. For Tyler Adams, I am Sam Nelson. And for the last time in 2025, good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?